Right up 7.
Ready at 10? All right. Start our planning and zoning meeting for February 20th, 2025. I will call the meeting to order.
Commissioner Fink. Here. Commissioner Wolf.
Here.
Commissioner Schneider.
Here.
Commissioner Volkman.
Here.
Commissioner Griffiths.
Here.
Commissioner Hedstrom is out this evening. Next up is approval of the minutes.
Do you have any amendment they would like to add or revise for last month's meeting minutes?
I do. Specifically, item number 6, Commissioner Schneider asked the Planning Commission would have opportunity to thoroughly evaluate information on other alternative energy sources before considering an amendment. Did you take that off the tape?
No, I took it off my notes.
Okay, is there a tape of the minutes? Did that ever come up?
The tape never, it never took because we were running into some technical issues.
Okay, so there's no record of last month?
No record, so if you want to, I can take that out.
Well, no.
Okay.
In fact, I would like to make it a little bit more clear.
Okay.
I felt like in the wind energy regulations that we have, we adopted the guidelines, and I did not realize that we could not go back and change those. So I guess what I wanna, if I may add one word to what you've got here.
Sure.
In that before we consider any amendment or regulations, I want to really evaluate information on the alternative energy sources.
Okay.
Because the last time, we simply just accepted the regulations.
Yes.
And we went forward and found out when there wasn't even a permit issued, we couldn't change them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if there is a pending project, is I think what I had said, if there's like a pending project for which no permit has been issued or submitted.
So considering an amendment and or regulations, I guess I just don't want to be caught of doing some work and then saying, oh, you've already done work, so you have to accept it. Whether it be solar, whether it be battery, whether it be hydrogen. I would just like to be able to thoroughly evaluate that alternative energy sources before we ever start looking at amending or regulating.
And it's got amendment or regulations.
And or regulations would be fine with me.
Okay. I'll make that change.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, I just don't want to get caught
Yeah.
like I felt like we did last time.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I have no other changes for the minutes.
I would recommend approval of the minutes with the addition of Commissioner Schneider's addition.
A second. It's moved and seconded to amend the minutes upon Commissioner Snyder's request for his revisions. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Minutes are revised and approved. We'll move on. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add or revise to the minutes?
No, it's already.
You can, okay. We'll move on to new business, CUP 25-02, consideration of a conditional use permit to allow establishment of a contractor's office and equipment storage on a parcel of land in section 18, township 13S, range 2E, generally located at the southeast corner of Fair Road and 14th Street at the request of Taylor Wuthnow.
Okay, this is, the applicant is proposing a 150-foot by 60-foot commercial building as a contractor's office with some equipment storage. The structure would have access to 14th Street and is located about 70 feet from the north property line. The facility will be served by well and septic. The city has been notified of this case and supports the project. Applicant has submitted their plan prepared by an engineer with their scope of use as well. Applicant is proposing 12 parking spaces, which is in compliance with the minimum spaces required in Article 16 for this use. The applicant is proposing landscaping along the north side of the property line. Staff is, and I need to clarify something because I noticed this, I told the chairman this earlier. I said staff is not recommending additional screening or buffering since the structure will be sufficiently set back away from the residential uses in the vicinity. And on my conditions, I put down additional screening. So you can, but I did that on purpose. Under my staff recommendation, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit with the following conditions. Any outdoor lighting attached to the building be and related to the commercial use be shielded or aimed away from any adjacent residential uses. That should not be an issue. Driveway entrance lights are allowed. Consultation with the Environmental Services Department prior to the use being established for any required separate well and septic to serve the new use. Any outdoor storage of materials must be placed behind either a privacy fence or landscape screening. This would not apply to vehicles. And again, I had said, you know, based on my determination, the distance, if you all agree with me, you can just throw the third condition out. But number 4, I've said building permit will be required for the new structure. So, and your options would be either recommend approval with the conditions listed above or any that you may feel need modified, or recommend denial of request. Then I'll open it up to the applicant. If he has anything additional, or do you have any questions?
Exact.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm Taylor Wuthnow. I'm in a heating and air conditioning business, own and operate. We do operate out of Dickinson County. We're 10 miles north of Abilene. It's kind of a haul for everybody to meet and get job supplies and things like that. So we're looking to move closer to town, closer to the interstate. Do you have the site that would?
Yes, yeah, we got it, yeah.
So your building's gonna be pretty much up to the east side of your property?
Yep.
I appreciate your site plan. I appreciate the site plan. Thank you for spending the time and or investment into having that. That makes it easy to conceive what your idea is. And for me personally, brings some professionalism. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, would you want to open it up to the public?
You can still open it up to the public?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I read this?
No, you don't have to, since she's.
Okay, good. Well, we'll open up to the public then. If anybody has anything they would like to speak on of this project.
I would just speak in support of this. I'm Jessica Goodell with the Dickinson County Economic Development Corporation. So Taylor had actually reached out to our office, or we got in contact with him maybe through his banker or a mutual contact, but we knew that this was a project that he was wanting to do, and we looked at all the options in Abilene, and there wasn't anything that fit his needs. I think the biggest concern or the biggest desire was to be close to the interstate, and I think this location is fantastic with the consideration of an upcoming industrial park in that vicinity that the city of Abilene's approved doing a grant with the Kansas Department of Commerce. It would be just east of Russell Stover's. This property is going to increase in value quite soon, so him taking advantage of this right now and having somebody that doing business here that's a local, born and raised Dickinson County resident, I think is exciting. Take this opportunity.
close it from the public then.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's in the commercial area of the community, so if we're looking at land use, it fits, this is gonna be a commercial use. That area, as Ms. Trudell said, is prime for additional industrial and commercial expansion. This fits. I can't say anything more.
Yeah.
I am confused, Tim, by what you're recommending. Is he supposed to have screening?
Well, that's what I was gonna point out to you. I had said initially that there's no additional screening, but our regulations state that if it's adjacent, in the past, what we've done is if there is a commercial use adjacent to a residential use, which this is not, given the distance he is from any residential structure or any uses, he doesn't necessarily have to do that, but our regulations just say I have to put it in there.
Okay, so how far is he away from residential?
Quite a way.
Well, I mean, what's our regulation say in feet?
Well, it
Do they
doesn't,
say 100, do they say 500?
it doesn't say feet. What it does is it leaves it up to the planning commission to make that determination.
I think it's the plot of land.
Yeah,
So this one is adjacent to the
Right,
residential.
right, you've got,
That's
But
just
and
why
usually
we have-
that's usually residential, and I have to clarify, the regulations say zoning, residential zoning. So technically, in the past, what we've done, when we've had a commercial use that's like in within a residential area where there's kind of a mixed use, and they've had adequate either separation distance from those houses, or they've already have additional screening, as part of the lot, that they have, then there's, you all have usually just said, you can omit the additional screening.
what's his currently zoned?
This is ag,
This is ag. What about across the street?
all those are ag, all that's ag.
So there's not
No
residential
residential zone.
zones here?
No.
So my position would be the houses in that area are agriculture, not residential. For zoning,
Right,
for zoning.
from a zoning perspective, yeah.
Okay.
Anyone have any more questions or would like to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve CUP PC 25-02 with the staff recommendations as the conditions.
I'd like to second that.
It has been approved and seconded to approve CUP, but I got the number 25-02, with the staff recommendations, for approval. This is all in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
And
Motion passed.
just for clarification, would that mean you want me to keep, point number 3 or take that out?
Point number 3 wasn't asked to be taken out, so it's like, the way I would interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wally, you made the motion.
Right, I didn't take it out.
You didn't take it out.
okay, I just want to make sure.
Good.
And this will go before the county commission. I'll let you know that we're kind of in flux right now. Normally it's 14 days after. And so, but I'll let you know when it goes to the county commission. No problem.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No old business, no, under miscellaneous, I just want to remind you again, next month, we got our reorganization of the board, and we're also scheduling our trainer, the person that's gonna, give us a presentation on, planning and zoning, to kind of help you guys out going forward. And this is normally something that's done a little bit, I do a little bit of it every year. I just go over like what your basic responsibilities are. He's gonna be here to answer any more difficult questions that I can't answer. So, but anyway, other than that, that's fine. And the previous case that went to, the quarry case, that right now is, it's the county commission directed staff to put together a resolution approving it. So, so it will go before then next week.
So then last Thursday was when it went in front of the commission?
Yeah, and they directed me to.
And they asked you to write a resolution?
Yes, and with you all's conditions.
Okay, with a resolution for approval?
Approval, yes.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah, whenever we have big, and this is the thing, when we have large projects like that are potentially have a lot of conditions on them, or it covers a large area, I usually, the way the state recommends that you do it is they want you to do it as in the form of a resolution. Whereas normally, like a case like this is just gonna be a little like we normally do, which is a certificate of approval that has the same language of a resolution, but it's not really a resolution. It's just kind of saying, giving consent to it.
Okay.
So anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
We don't have any, today, we don't have any applications for next month, just the training.
No, not yet. It's pending, there's one that I'm waiting on, which is interesting because we've got an individual, I'm not gonna give it away, but it's one that you've seen before, a property you've seen before that wants to expand his operation to include a record service. And so you all have approved him for the, I think it was back a couple of years ago, he requested that you all approve it's the trucking, training. Semi truck training. And he's gonna.
Up north.
Yep.
Yeah, up north, yeah. And so, and what, he's proposing, some additional use that will go with, be kind of complementary to that. And so I said, well, yeah, he wanted to know if he needed a CUP. I said, if you're adding, a supplemental type use like that, yeah, probably so, just, because it was never in the conditions before that you said, so he's gonna go through that. I'm waiting on the application for that, so I don't know when that will be.
Okay.
That's it, that's all I got.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Go home.
Thank you, guys.
Pardon, Ken, for just a second.
Your first one was an easy one, Jessica.
Yeah.
I don't always let it be.
The other day I was like, I'll just watch my last one, it was like 33 hours. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never know.